hey there. How you doing? You caught me kind of mid-workout. Do you like my barbells? They're kind of cool, right? They're actually some prehistoric zucchini that my friend Abby brought over. And, my first question was, and can you eat this? Is it going to be good? And they said, oh yeah, they're really delicious. They were, lots of manure in the garden and everything is rich and wonderful. And I'm like, okay, then we're going to have to give this a try. Almost Martha is going to have to do something with this prehistoric zucchini. So I think today I'm going to make a zucchini lasagna. And I think it probably will have to be for about 30 people because there's another one of these over there. I've got a lot of zucchini. So hold on. I saw this great recipe. We're going to try it out together for some zucchini lasagna. Let's go. In the opening, I called this a zucchini lasagna, but in the New York Times, where I saw the recipe, they called it zucchini parmesan. But, I think it's fine either way because you could also, make it a little more lasagna-like, and that's by just adding a little bit of mozzarella and, that kind of stuff. So we have our zucchini and I'm going to work on this for a second. It's awfully big. So I am going to cut it crosswise. Oh, it's so big. I need the strength of like 10 men. Oh, okay. All right. Well, good so far. I was really kind of afraid that was going to have, some hollowness on the inside because sometimes with this big, a big vegetable, that's what happens. But not in this case. I'm so happy to see it. So there we go. I'm just going to slice off a couple of rounded ends. Wow, this is really something. This is really something. I can't put all the zucchini in there. I can't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So now I'm desperately going to try to cut this into some nice planks, which zucchini parmesan or zucchini lasagna, right? So you need the nice planks to serve as a noodle. Okay, we got a little loosey-goosey there. There we go. There we go. I might just make it without killing myself. I'm going to have multiple pans, of course, to try to get all of this cooked properly. Okay, I'm just going to put some olive oil on there. Because now we're going to roast the zucchini. So just massage some olive oil. Now we're going to salt and pepper after we oil one more time. I have parchment paper down. We'll make it easier to get up, off the pan. You don't want it to stick. The flesh will be delicate once it's roasted, right? So ain't nothing delicate about it now, but yeah, there will be. There will be. Hold on. Okay, so now we're going to salt and pepper. We're going to lightly sprinkle these with some red pepper flakes. They did say try your best, to get the consistency, the thickness to be the same. It's very, very hard. Very, very hard. Especially these monsters. Okay. But, we do what we can. They'll be very soft. Get that one little corner I shaved off. They'll be very soft. We have another pan to go once we do these. So I'm going to put these in the oven and let them roast for about 12 minutes at 400 degrees. I have my roasted zucchini assembly line going. We have more in the oven, but now I'm just going to take a little bit of olive oil, and I'll put all the measurements on the website, probably from the original 8x8 version of this zucchini Parmesan recipe. Like I said, I got it from the New York Times, and it required one small onion, so this is about maybe a medium-sized red onion that I have chopped and diced. We're going to cook this onion a little bit, and then we're going to add some garlic. Yes, garlic. I'm going to add actual garlic, so I'll get that ready. But first, we're just going to cook this onion down a little bit as we're getting ready to make our sauce. And the sauce is going to be great, and it's going to be made from, real-life tomatoes. Oh, you guys, I have like 15 tomatoes on my tomato plants out there. I'm so excited. I've never been able to grow tomatoes before. The sun, the heat, the whatever just hasn't been there, but this year it's been there, so I'm so excited. One is beginning to turn sort of like a blush color, and the others are still, in various stages, and the squirrels have not found them yet. So, let's hope. I don't know, I might try to net them or something, but I'm so excited. But anyway, so we're going to use real tomatoes to make a quick little sauce. It'll take like 15-20 minutes, but this is the beginning of that sauce. So we've got our chopped onion, we've got some olive oil. I'm just going to get that started on the stove, and then we'll move over to our other cook station. But I've still got, lots of zucchini roasting. So yeah. While we have our onions working over there, I'm going to be using a food mill. So because I'm using a food mill, all I have to do is quarter my tomatoes. If you do not have a food mill, which will remove the seeds and the skin for you, you have to peel these tomatoes and you have to get all the seeds out. So you have to de-seed and peel all of these tomatoes. So if you are going to make a lot of sauces, if you like to make potato soup, then you might want to consider a food mill. It's very efficient in the way that it works, and it really does. It saves you a lot of time. An immersion blender is great, but if you're trying to do a big pot of potato soup, it can take forever. So we're going to use a food mill on this. So I'm gonna go check my onions, and I'm gonna just continue to quarter these tomatoes, get them ready. Let me go check. Be right back. My onions are looking pretty good. I'm going to get ready I'll just put a little more olive oil in here and put some garlic, get that garlic going too. I'm going to make just a little bit of oil there. Add a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to put my chopped garlic right in there. Just let that brown a teensy bit. And then we'll be ready to start adding our tomatoes. I have my food mill, I have my diced tomatoes. Just gonna put them in here. And then all the goodness of the tomatoes are going to go in, and it's going to keep the seeds and everything out. And nothing is happening. So because I'm doing so many tomatoes, because I'm making sort of an extra large recipe, I just, to save myself my arm, I just put the tomatoes in a food processor and I process them. Then I put them in the food mill, and that's going to strain out the, the tomato seeds along with the skin. So it's just sort of like a sieve with a built-in masher. So it's just going to remove that for me, and that just makes the step a little bit easier. And at the end, there's really not a lot of liquid coming out. Tons of seeds and skin in here. So I think we've gotten what we need to get out of those tomatoes, and then we're left with the things that we don't want, which is fantastic. So put that to the side. Now I'm going to add some sprigs of basil, and we're going to remove these later, so you don't have to worry. We're going to fish them in. It won't matter if they discolor or something. And we want to cook this down. So I'm going to put it on like a medium-high heat and bring it to temperature, and then we want this to cook down. It'll probably take about 15 or 20 minutes to get it to where we need it to be. While it's cooking down, I am going to add a little wine, maybe about half a cup of some red wine. It just adds a real depth of flavor. And since we're still cooking this down and rendering it down, that means that alcohol is going to get cooked out of the wine too. So we'll just let that continue. Maybe it's because I doubled the recipe, but it did take much longer for that sauce to cook down. They said cook down until it just begins to stick, and that's exactly what I did. I did fish out the basil, and now I'm going to put some basil back in. So I'm just going to snip some basil in. We'll have nice flavor without being, all rendered black and useless. Okay. It's so nice. Even if you don't have an outside garden, I just dropped a big piece of basil in there. Even if you don't have an outside garden, you can easily grow basil and different things if you have a window where you can, put a little pot. So if you've seen in my window, my kitchen window, I have basil and rosemary there almost year round. So even when the basil is gone from outside, I still have a little basil that I can call on when I need it. And that's such a nice thing, especially in the winter. We don't know what basil is going to cost this year because they're going to have to import it from somewhere else. So think about that. And let's put just a tiny little sprig of basil in a window somewhere and just keep an eye on it to keep it going all winter. So then you'll have basil at the ready. Okay, because you can use it for so many things. So many things. Okay, I think that's good. Thank you, basil. Thank you, basil. Okay, so now we are going to assemble our dish. I'm going to take it out of this little beautiful carrier. And I'm using a big Pyrex because I have so much zucchini. So I'm going to oil my pan. So I'm just going to take my fingers, get it all in there. Uh-oh, that's Miss Annie. The kitchen door closed on her. So I must go attend to the queen. I'll be right back. All right, so I've done that, and now I'm just gonna give this sauce a little bit of taste. I did put a little bit of salt and pepper in it. And this is where you can decide if you need a little more salt, if you need more pepper. You can add crushed red pepper, but remember we have it on our zucchini, so you might be peppering yourself. into a very hot spot. Beware with the salt too, because we're going to be adding a lot of Parmesan and that adds salt. So I think we're probably good. I'm going to take one more taste with a fresh spoon. That's good. That's good. Okay. So now we're going to start layering all of our goodness, but we're going to start with a little layer of tomato sauce. Now we have oil in our pan. We're going to put tomato sauce on the bottom. Smells so good. It smells so good. I'm going to put this where you can see it a little more easily. Okay. So we'll start with just a thin layer of sauce on the bottom, and then we will start with our zucchini. So if we think of our zucchini as noodles, and that's what we're doing. We're just laying that noodle layer of our lasagna, or eggplant parmesan. Think of that too. It's the same thing. Okay. And we're just going to cover the whole dish. Perfect. I moved my paper towels up here because I knew. I have so much Parmesan. I always have a ton on hand because I love it in its many different forms. So I have some Pecorino Romano, and I'm just going to sprinkle some on our first layer. Okay. I'll put that away. Now we're going to add more sauce. I know this seems very why don't you just pour it all in there? Well, because that's too much. I eggplant Parmesan drowning in sauce is not my thing. So I make a great eggplant Parmesan I just came up with on my own. I'll be making that for you too this fall. And it's skimpy on the sauce, but the sauce is very rich and chunky, so it's great. Okay, so that's a thin layer of sauce. Now we're going to add, I think, a little more Parmesan. And this time I have Parmesan Reggiano. So we started with Pecorino, and now we've got the real Parmesan. Okay. So now we're going to continue to layer our zucchini very carefully. And thanks to this great prehistoric zucchini, it really is like big lasagna noodles, right? It really is. Or a big gigantic eggplant. All right, get one of these. Better. I did do some yellow squash too, so I have a little bit of both. Okay, now we go layer sauce. If you want to add some mozzarella, you can add some mozzarella. I am not opposed to that. We certainly like it on our eggplant Parmesan, don't we? Much. Okay. We've got our Parmesan again. And since I brought it up, I do happen to have mozzarella cheese, so I'm gonna add just a little bit. Not too much. We don't want it to be super heavy. But just a little scattered here and there, I think would make it really good. That's more like a, you do it for eggplant parm. Why not for zucchini parm? Or lasagna. Lasagna has it too. So, why not? Everybody loves it. Okay. So that was probably under half a cup of, sort of diced real mozzarella. And I think that's good. I think that's good. Okay, we'll continue. Now, we are going to add some shaved Parmesan. I have bought shaved Parmesan from my grocery store, like Parmesan that they have shaved, and wasn't happy with it. Didn't taste all that great. Didn't taste like Parmesan, so I would buy big hunks of Parmesan and I would just shave it. But this is Cello Copper Kettle. I get it at Costco. It is delicious. You could just sit here and eat it piece after piece after piece. It's so good. And it comes already shaved, which is fantastic. So now we're just going to drop some rough shards of Parmesan on top. It's so handy. It's so handy. And quite delicious. Sometimes I just dip my hand in and I get a piece just because I'm hungry. But it's really good. There's a lot of, shaved Parmesan out there that doesn't taste like real Parmesan or doesn't have a lot of flavor left over. Whatever it is, this stuff does. So it's really good. Okay. Oh, that will be beautiful. Okay. So my oven is now set to 375, and now I'm going to put this in the oven. We'll continue to check on it, but it's going to bubble up and be delicious. Probably about 30 minutes. Okay. Oh, boy, does that look good. That really looks good, and it really smells good too. Well, just like any lasagna, right? We're gonna wait. We're gonna let this cool before we slice it. But boy, I can't wait. I can't wait. So we'll taste it together in just a few minutes. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Got a lot of cheese in this one. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, wow. Mmm. 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 Oh, that is really good. That is really good. So, the next time I make this, I'm going to just reduce it down a little bit further. Reduce that water content. And heck, maybe even add a little more cheese because this is good. And no carbs. So, if you want to try it, just go to almost-martha.com where you can see all of my recipes that I've done. And I'll give you the recipe for the smaller version because you can always double it, right? So this is great. If you have zucchini growing in your garden, this is a great way to get rid of it, a great way to use it because it's delicious. So go to my website, get the recipe. If you're watching this on Instagram, go to YouTube and subscribe, then you'll get all the videos as they drop. But thank you guys for coming by. Hi, Mom. Hope things are good. Thanks for coming by, and I hope you give it a try. You gotta try some of these things, not just watch. You gotta try. You gotta try. Thank you, Abby, for the zucchini. Absolutely delicious. Thank you so much. I could never feed an army if it weren't for you and all the zucchini. So thank you, thank you. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time right here at Almost Martha. Okay, bye.